Alright, this is Mark778, commentating on Gamers News 2010's channel, and this is another M.O.A.B gameplay, and I'm not going to be talking about the gameplay. I'll probably point out that the M.O.A.B's on the screen, and you obviously will know that because you'll be looking at it. So, I really will be talking about a funny story, well, I think it's a funny story, about a girl in my primary school who pissed herself, and let's set the scene. It was a Wednesday in summer, and it was year 3, and for you Americans, that's when I was about 8 or 7. She was in a skirt because it's obviously summer, and I don't think we had any other options for girls. I don't think they could wear pants. I'm not sure. So, we had a bad teacher. I really don't know his name, but we were supposed to have another teacher, but she was pregnant, and obviously that means she's on maternity leave. And we met her, I think, yeah, we met her once, and she was a lot nicer than this guy, because this guy was a prick. And he looked very creepy. I don't know why this guy wasn't on the list, if you know what I mean. So on this particular day, it was hot, and for a treat, we got lolly ices. And in retrospect, and if you don't know what that means, like, oh shit, I've forgotten. Not really. But in retrospect, it's a bad, which means it was a bad idea to do at the time. So yeah, it was a bad idea to give us lolly ices, because at 7 or 8, I think the majority of people know how to control their own bladder, but some people don't really. So this girl was one of them. And we started the lesson, and there's not really much of a plan for lessons in primary school. You sort of just go in, and the teacher will say, "Oh, we're gonna learn English now," and he'll set your homework according to whatever it is. You don't have different teachers at different times, because you just have one, obviously, because I would have said more. So yeah, as soon as she walked in, she said, "Can I go to the toilet?" And I'm not gonna say her name, obviously, because it's a bit unfair enough, and also I'd probably have to ask her permission if I said her name. I'm not gonna do that. So she said this a couple of times. She said it really about 15 minutes each time, between each time she said it. And she said this 2 more times, and he was getting a bit annoyed then. And she said it one last time, and it just got to the point where she was really annoying him now. And he'd done this before in other lessons. I don't know why she hadn't figured it out, that he'd told people if they kept asking him to go to the toilet, he just told them to stand up and wait. And so he told her to stand up. He looked very pissed off this time, and she was trying to hold it in. She was doing a little dance with her legs, trying to keep it in. It's like the funniest motion you'll ever see someone do, if you've ever seen someone really desperate for the toilet. So yeah, she was he told her to stand up, and her face was red while she was doing this dance, trying to hold it in, and she tried to persuade him to go to the toilet by saying things like, "Oh, but Sarah, I'm really desperate, and I've got to go," and he just wasn't believing her that she was actually as desperate as she said. So he just ignored her. He completely ignored her. She can't really use too many big words. She is only 7, so she's not going to put up a really compelling argument against some 35-year-old, 40-year-old teacher. And then you see her face start to relax, and this yellow liquid, which we all knew was piss, started to leak out of the general area. And yeah, 5 seconds after this, she'd actually pissed herself. She went and she had water in her hand, and she was drinking water while she needed the toilet, which sort of added to the effect. She poured the water on her skirt to make it look like it was the water, but we all knew, even the teacher knew, it was piss. And it was obvious it was piss because there was like, the carpet was yellow, there was more liquid that, like, than there would have been just from that little water bottle that got the M.O.A.B there. So yeah, there would have been a lot more liquid. It had there was a patch on the carpet underneath her as well. And the carpet kept that smell for a while, that sort of smell that's like a public toilet smell, and it's not nice. If you've ever smelled a public toilet, I don't recommend them. So, yeah, there was a big puddle on the ground, so he just said, "Oh, go out the room, cleaned up." She had the reddest face ever. She was embarrassed, but also the teacher was really embarrassed. I mean, because he was the one that basically made her piss herself because he didn't let her go to the toilet. And she took about 10 minutes to get cleaned up. And you know how your school always has those clothes that you have spare just in case these sort of things happen. And at the time we had blue PE shorts, and she came in with grey, and I think that was like before the last PE uniform had been the colours had been changed. That just shows how old these things were. They smelled worse than the piss as well. I don't know how just one piece of clothing can smell worse than the piss. She stunk of piss as well for the whole day. And people kept taking the piss out of her. Yeah, very funny. People kept taking the piss out of her the rest of the year, probably longer. Probably till about 3 years on, we were in year 6, and we sort of got told by the teachers. They were saying, right, she's getting really upset now, you've got to stop. So, we got told by the teachers to stop. I think we did stop eventually, but it took a couple of months after that. And it's just that the teacher had done this before, and I'm not sure if I've said this. He did this before with another kid. It was a lad this time, obviously. Again, not saying his name, privacy reasons. He did the same thing. Exactly the same thing. It's just surely you would let him from first time round. He just seems like the harshest teacher ever if you wouldn't even let a kid have a piss. I mean, come on. So, she got skittered for ages. I mean, if you're having an argument with her now, even though we're in secondary school, which is, I think, middle school in America? Yeah, middle school. So, yeah, you'd probably bring up that saying, "Oh, shut up, you pissed yourself in primary." And then, so basically, that is the story. So, what's your most embarrassing moment in your life ever? Just drop that in the comments, and if it's funny enough, I might read the story out. I might not. If there's not enough comments, no, which there probably won't be with my dozens of viewers all over the world. And what else I was going to talk about? I was going to talk about, we make intros. If you do have a YouTube channel and you don't have an intro, the Cinema 4D intros, they're not too complicated. They're about medium decency of intro. They're usually £4, but if you say, "Oh, I've watched that video, Nathan," just drop that in and say, "Oh yeah, I watched that video, blah blah blah. I would like this sort of intro for this sort of channel." We'll see what we can do. We will basically, you'll have to have Skype, so we can share our screen with you and show the intro via screen sharing. We'll show you the intro, obviously, because if we sent it, you would have the intro, and if you didn't like it, we wouldn't get any money. But if you don't like it, fair enough, you don't have to pay if we showed you it and you don't like it. But if you do like it, I like the money first, obviously, just for, like, reasons. I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to not give you your intro. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, I'll take your money, but you're not getting your stuff. I mean, I'm not like that. And someone's going to be like, shut up, Nathan, you're exactly like that. I mean, I owed some kid 16 quid the day after I brought it in. So, yeah, that's it. It's just for the reasons that you might be some scumbag and... sorry, say you might be some scumbag, but... the gameplay's almost over here. After getting a M.O.A.B, our team gets completely slaughtered by the other team. And that's it, really. Hope you had a good laugh during this commentary. I sure did, trying to make it. So, I've been Mark77, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.